The normally amicable relationship between Canada and the United States has hit a snag. Historically, these two neighboring countries have enjoyed a robust and mutually beneficial trade relationship, characterized by open borders and a free flow of goods and services. However, recent developments have cast a shadow over this long-standing partnership. This time, the bone of contention is trade between British Columbia and the U.S. state of Alaska. The geographical proximity of these regions has always facilitated easy trade, but new policies are threatening to disrupt this harmony. The introduction of these policies has raised eyebrows and sparked debates on both sides of the border. In March 2025, BC began imposing new tolls on commerce headed to Alaska. These tolls were introduced as part of a broader strategy to boost provincial revenues and address infrastructure needs. However, the sudden implementation caught many businesses off guard, leading to immediate logistical challenges. This action has ignited a trade dispute, raising concerns about potential economic and diplomatic fallout. The long lines of transport trucks at the border are a visible testament to the growing tensions. Businesses on both sides are feeling the pinch, with delays causing significant financial losses and operational headaches. This essay will delve into the reasons behind BC's controversial move and its impact on Alaska. Economists and policy analysts are weighing in, offering various perspectives on the potential long-term effects. Some argue that the tolls are a necessary measure for BC's economic health, while others believe they could have been implemented more gradually to avoid such disruption. We will also examine the historical context of trade tensions between the two countries. Trade disputes are not new to Canada and the U.S. Past conflicts have often been resolved through negotiation and compromise. By looking at historical precedents, we can gain insights into how this current issue might be addressed. Finally, we will explore potential solutions to the current impasse. Diplomatic efforts are already underway, with negotiators from both sides seeking a resolution that will satisfy all parties involved. The hope is that through dialogue and cooperation, a mutually beneficial agreement can be reached, restoring the smooth flow of trade and reinforcing the strong ties between Canada and the United States. Alaska relies heavily on trade with Canada. This trade is not just a simple exchange of goods. It is a complex and vital network that sustains the state's economy and the daily lives of its residents. From essential supplies like food and medicine to construction materials and fuel, the flow of goods between Alaska and Canada is constant and crucial. The state's unique geography makes it dependent on goods transiting through Canada. With its rugged terrain and remote locations, Alaska faces significant logistical challenges. The Canadian route provides a more accessible and efficient pathway for transporting goods, especially during the harsh winter months when other routes may be impassable. This reliance is evident in the billions of dollars in commerce that flow between Alaska and its neighbor to the east. Every year, thousands of trucks and ships carry goods across the border, supporting businesses and communities on both sides. This trade is a testament to the strong economic ties and mutual dependence between Alaska and Canada. For Alaska, this trade is not just a matter of economic expediency, but a lifeline for its citizens. The availability of goods and services directly impacts the quality of life in Alaskan communities. Local markets, shops, and businesses rely on the steady influx of products to meet the needs of their customers. Over 20,000 jobs in Alaska are directly tied to trade with Canada. These jobs span various sectors, including transportation, logistics, retail, and manufacturing. The livelihoods of many Alaskans depend on the seamless operation of this trade network, highlighting its importance to the state's overall economic health. This trade relationship underscores the interconnectedness of the two regions. Beyond the economic benefits, there are cultural and social ties that have developed over the years. Community events, cross-border collaborations, and shared initiatives have strengthened the bond between Alaskans and Canadians, fostering a sense of unity and cooperation. The recent tariffs imposed by BC threaten this vital economic artery. These tariffs could lead to increased costs for goods, disruptions in supply chains, and economic uncertainty for businesses and workers. It is crucial for both regions to work together to find solutions that will preserve and enhance this essential trade relationship, ensuring a prosperous future for all. British Columbia argues that its decision to impose tariffs is a defensive maneuver. The province claims it is responding to what it perceives as aggressive trade policies from the United States. Specifically, BC cites threats made by former U.S. President Donald Trump regarding potential trade actions. BC's premier has stated that the new tolls are necessary to protect local interests. The province believes it must take a strong stance against what it sees as unfair trade practices by the United States. The economic repercussions of BC's tariffs are already being felt in Alaska. The new tolls have disrupted the flow of goods, leading to increased costs for businesses and consumers. The Alaskan economy, heavily reliant on trade, is particularly vulnerable to these disruptions. Initial estimates suggest that Alaska's economy could lose over $1.3 billion due to the tariffs. The impact is being felt across various sectors, from seafood to construction. The situation has created uncertainty and anxiety among Alaskan businesses and citizens. Section 5. Alaska's plea for harmony. Recognizing the gravity of the situation, the Alaska House of Representatives has taken a proactive approach. The trade dispute between the United States and Canada has far-reaching implications, not just for the two countries involved, but particularly for the state of Alaska. The representatives understand that the economic stability and cultural ties of their state are at stake. They have come together, setting aside partisan differences, to address this pressing issue with a unified voice. The House passed a resolution urging both the United States and Canada to find a peaceful solution to the trade dispute. This resolution is not just a formal statement, it is a call to action. The representatives are urging leaders from both nations to come to the table, engage in meaningful dialogue, and work towards a resolution that benefits all parties involved. They believe that through diplomacy and cooperation, a mutually beneficial agreement can be reached. This resolution, passed with a 33-4 majority, underscores the urgency felt within Alaska. The overwhelming support for the resolution highlights the consensus among the representatives about the importance of addressing this issue promptly. The vote tally reflects the collective will of the people of Alaska, who are deeply concerned about the potential negative impacts of the trade dispute on their livelihoods and communities. The resolution emphasizes the strong historical, cultural, and economic ties between Alaska and Canada. These ties have been built over decades of cooperation and mutual respect. The people of Alaska and Canada share a unique bond, forged through shared experiences and common interests. The resolution seeks to preserve and strengthen these ties, recognizing that the well-being of both regions is interconnected. It highlights the shared interests and the need for cooperation. The resolution calls for a collaborative approach to resolving the trade dispute, emphasizing that both nations stand to gain from a peaceful and fair resolution. It underscores the importance of maintaining strong bilateral relations and working together to overcome challenges. The resolution awaits approval from the Alaska Senate before being sent to U.S. and Canadian officials. The next step in this process is crucial. The Senate's approval will lend further weight to the resolution, demonstrating a unified stance from the entire state government. Once approved, the resolution will be forwarded to officials in both the United States and Canada, urging them to take immediate action to resolve the trade dispute and protect the interests of the people of Alaska. Section 6. Trump's trade war rhetoric returns. Former U.S. President Donald Trump has not been silent on the issue. He has publicly criticized BC's actions, calling the tolls unfair and a direct attack on American trade. Trump's return to the political stage, even in a commentary role, has added fuel to the fire. Trump, known for his protectionist stance on trade, has hinted at potential retaliatory measures by the U.S. While no longer in office, his words carry weight and threaten to escalate the trade dispute further. Section 7. Echoes of past disputes. This is not the first time trade routes to Alaska have been caught in the crosshairs of U.S.-Canada relations. The history of trade between the two countries is punctuated by periods of friction. The current dispute is partly a legacy of past tensions and unresolved issues. The Trump administration, during its tenure, engaged in contentious trade negotiations with Canada. The current situation is seen by some as a continuation of those unresolved conflicts. The historical context highlights the deep-rooted nature of the trade complexities. Section 8. A looming trade war? The escalating trade dispute between BC and Alaska raises concerns about a potential trade war. If the situation is not resolved quickly, it could lead to a series of retaliatory measures and countermeasures. The consequences of such a scenario would be far-reaching. A trade war would not only harm the economies of both countries, but could also strain diplomatic relations. It could also set a dangerous precedent for future trade disputes. Finding a path to de-escalation is crucial to avoid these negative outcomes. Section 9. The Path to Resolution. The current trade dispute between BC and Alaska presents a significant challenge, but it is not insurmountable. Dialogue and diplomacy are essential to finding a solution that addresses the concerns of both sides. Both countries must prioritize open communication and a willingness to compromise. A negotiated settlement that ensures fair trade practices while respecting the economic interests of both Alaska and British Columbia is the ideal outcome. The alternative is a trade war that would benefit neither party.